They knew exactly what they were doing. They just didn't expect you to see it. You noticed it in small moments that didn't make sense, even when you tried to ignore it. The way they would say something, then act in a completely different way later. It stayed on your mind longer than it should have. And no matter how much you tried to brush it off, something about it didn't feel right. At first, you told yourself you were overthinking. You didn't want to assume anything. So you gave them the benefit of the doubt. You stayed patient. You stayed calm. And you kept trying to understand what was happening. But the more you paid attention, the more you realize this wasn't just one moment that felt off. It was actually a pattern. It was how they avoided certain conversations when things became too direct. It was how they shifted the focus back to you when you asked simple questions. It was how you kept living it was how you kept living conversations with more confusion than clarity. Even when you tried to stay grounded, you kept trying to understand it. You replayed things in your mind, looking for a version that makes sense. You tried to connect their words with their actions, hoping there was something you missed. But every time you looked at it again, the same feeling came back. And that feeling did not lie. That feeling did not lie. You started noticing more. The timing of their responses, and the way they changed their tone depending on the situation, and the way they acted like nothing happened after creating confusion. It stopped feeling accidental and it started feeling intentional in a way you couldn't ignore. That is when everything shifted. You stopped reacting the way you used to. You didn't question anything out loud. You didn't try to fix every situation. Instead, you became more and more observant, and that made everything clearer without them needing to explain anything. At first, they didn't realize it. They kept doing the same things, expecting the same reactions from you. They assumed you were still trying to understand them, still caught in that same circle. That assumption made them comfortable because nothing had challenged their behavior yet. But your silence stayed consistent. You didn't go back you didn't go back to how you were before. You didn't respond to everything. And you didn't chase explanations. That change created a difference that change created a difference they couldn't ignore. Even if they didn't say it directly, now they can feel it. They can really feel it. The same actions they relied on no longer have the same effect. You are no longer reacting from confusion. And that changes the dynamic completely. The control they had depending on you, the control they had depending on you not seeing the pattern clearly. But now you do. They knew what they were doing the whole time. They just didn't expect you to recognize it. And this is what changed everything.